Jesus, mother, kiss your children.
Welcome again to part 2 of the experience, my experience with my spiritual father. And now we'll be going through the challenges of this place. Remember that, first of all, Father Adolf has had very difficult experiences in Kisi in his first mission when he was shot. But there are other experiences that he had there that he will be sharing now, especially with the accidents that he had there with the bike, and then with the other challenges that we faced in this place. And then I'll be sharing some of the experiences that I had also with Adolf, especially in this kind of situation. But remember, the second mission, which is in Witu, where I met Father Adolf, he already said that 80%, I think, would be Muslims. 80% of the population were Muslims. Adolf didn't go there to convert them, but to be one with them, to work with them. And mind you, before I arrived in Witu, where Father Adolf had been working, it was very difficult to know. Things were already fixed. It was not really a struggle again to mix with the Muslims, because they already accepted us. The sisters were already there working with the women, working with the people. And Father Adolf was already making a lot of projects in the place and bringing water to the people and making life really much easier for the people. And that is really what inspired me, especially to make this video or to continue to remember Father Adolf whenever I'm in mission. But we just want again to share about the challenges that we face there. First of all, Father Adolf has shared about the accident that he had. He was being shot at in Kisi. But Father Adolf, welcome back. But we want you now to share a little bit about the accidents you had in Kisi, and then also the period of the Al-Shabaab, the terrorists who came from, and that was when I was there already now. So a little bit about your accident in Kisi, the period of the Al-Shabaab, and then the 2 last accidents you had also. I hope you still remember that anyway.
Yeah. Well, in Kisi, the first accident, of course, was the one when I was shot. But the second accident was when I was riding motorbike. And as I really liked motorbikes very, very much, and with a motorbike you could reach any village really. So I was a bit, not a bit, but I was too courageous. And as I was driving towards Kisi, towards the town there one day, I just walked, greeted people freehand like that, and the motorbike was going nicely, and greeted them, hallelujah, hallelujah. And, they greeted back, and then all of a sudden it happened then, and there was a fairly big loose stone on the road, and I went over it, and it threw me right with the mouth onto the. There was no tarmac, but there was a rough road, and I fell on stones, on rocky ground, and I was unconscious. I didn't know what's happening. So luckily enough, a Matatu came along, so a private taxi came along, and he saw me, and then he took me to hospital, again to Kisi. In Kisi, there I woke up a bit in the theater, and then started stitching my mouth and my eyes, because it was full of wounds, big wounds. And then eventually the bishop of Kisi came and said, now, I don't think that they could do a good job here. I better take you to Nairobi Hospital. So he himself took me to Nairobi Hospital. And there the doctor said, hey, thanks God that you come. These stitches are far too big stitches they made. They would make your mouth to be facing all kinds of directions. You would be very, very unappetizing man in that way. So anyway, they stitched me there properly there in Nairobi. And I recovered again. Thanks God, I recovered again. So the other accident that was then when we were in V2, and then somebody came in at night, and he had a gun. We were there with some seminarians, some students there. They made us all lie down on the floor, and then I was taken to my room, down on the floor again. Where is the money? Where is the money? Where is the money? And then, well, he said, we have very little there, just with Sadaka what we got. We had no money, Lord. Anyway, give you. So I was giving him these loose shillings, dongolos and so weiter, whatever it was. And then I started now to climb on a step higher up, because I also had some little money there. Hey, this officer saw that I was climbing up there. Straight away he pulled me down on the floor again. And as that happened, there was a gunshot. Not by them, a gunshot from far away. The officer, when he saw me, I heard this gunshot, straight away left me there. Off he went, disappeared. We didn't know where he went to, but he went for enforcement. We had no idea. But thanks God, he didn't come back. What really happened, God is great. God is great.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, yeah. In the neighborhood there was a lion coming in the settlement, and the officers shot the lion. This man now here, because he was a real crook, he was an officer all right, but a real crook. So now, something may happen now with me also. So he run away. And nothing happened to me. We lost hardly any money, and we were safe again. But it was an experience also for the other companions, other people who were in. And also sisters, of course, they also heard that. They were really trembling now what was happening with Father there. But then the toughest experience was then, I think it was in the year 2000, and was it 13 or 17?
No, 16.
16.
He went to change the bulb, yeah, and then the car later on. The one you broke the arm.
No, about the Al-Shabaab.
Oh yeah, that is in 2015, yes. 2015.
Yes, that was with the Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda. Yeah, that was a very bad experience, yeah. Because there was insecurity in the whole area, because the Al-Shabaab, they were seen here and there, weaponed groups of people. But then one day a priest was in a visitor with us, Mill Hill priest. What's his name again? The one who was the young, the priest who was the last one in Lamu.
Brother Brian,
No,
not one,
the priest.
who was appointed to Lamu.
He was there already, yeah. To cover from.
I would not remember.
Yeah. So we came there, and then he said now he wants to go back to Lamu. That's it.
Father France,
Father France, yeah.
Father France, yeah.
Scouting.
Scouting,
Yeah. Yes. That was, he left the mission, he went to Pecatoni, he's halfway to Lamo, he stayed there overnight. When he was there in Lamo, in Pecatoni, he heard that the brother who built the whole place there in Lamo, Brother Brian, that he was killed. That was very shocking. So naturally the following day we went there and saw him lying there in the blood, yeah. They killed him cruelly. But it's seemingly they were robbers. But then the Al-Shabaab was then later. That was then a time when the people came from, especially from Somalia, and they attacked the big village, the big settlement in Pecatoni. First they attacked the police station, put all the cars out of order, all the communication, they put out of order. So everything was in darkness. And so they went from house to house, and then they killed 52 Christians, men, cruelly in their houses, in the sight of their loved ones. So, but this Pecatoni is not very far away. It's about probably 40 kilometers away from Vitu, so we naturally went there. And then we saw them right there. We saw all these bodies outside the hospital lined up. People could come to recognize them, who this is and who was that one and so on. And then we were asked also sister, one of our sisters, Sister Angeline, we were asked then to help transporting the bodies to near their homes, because very few of them really belonged to Pecatoni itself. Many had to be transported to Malindi, or then maybe up to Nairobi and so on. And so there also I helped to transport people. In one instance, then down here, he came along with another car and helped me to take one body or two bodies right to Malindi, and I could come back again at night to V2. That was a tough time. But the Lord was great, and we managed to help people, and slowly, more peace came in the area. Slowly, but it took a long time. Many officers were also killed in that area.
Yeah, it was a difficult time because I was still about 2 years old, a priest, and then we were faced with that, and we were carrying bodies. Bodies were like slaughtered chickens, and then you had to be carrying them everywhere. And it was very traumatizing because nobody knew where these people were, this Al-Shabaab, and the police themselves were very confused. I think peace only came when they started building more camps for the KDF, the Kenya Defense Force, right in the area, and people had to run away from their homes. So it was coming. It was like on and off all the time. And it made it very difficult because you never knew what would happen the next day, what their plan was. We just wake up and we hear 10 people have been slaughtered in this place. They didn't kill them by shooting, but they slaughtered them. Yeah. And what made it even more complicated was because of the Pokomos the Pokomos and the Ormas, who were fighting over land and whatever, and they were taking advantage also of the situation and killing each other now, slowly like that. Yeah, but that was a very tough time, and I think it changed that place.
Yeah.
Even now, there is still a lot of, not so much like before, but there is still insecurity with escorting the buses and all that.
And then, which was also, was very sad for us, that in one area in Cairo, people were told, you must at night move away. You must not stay in Cairo in the farms there. You must go and sleep together in one area, so that we have the police there or the KDF. They can look after you. And then there was a couple of young men who said, now our farm is far away and we have planted maize and we have planted pamba, cotton, and when we run away, then they didn't come, then the buffaloes come at night. And the elephants, we're going to stay there. So actually, 3 of them decided to stay there overnight. And one of the nights they were attacked. And one of them was the son of our catechist.
Yeah.
And they just got hold of them, bound them together, 3 of them, slowly cut the heads off, slowly. One of them was the son of our catechist. That was very, very, very hard also for us, but especially for that family. Young man.
The first son in the family.
The first one, even, yeah. Nyati's son, yeah.
Yeah, it was really a tough mission there. Tough times in that time, eh?
And that was just when, about 2 years before, the catechist told me the story, and he showed me actually, he took me to that family where also previously also men were killed slowly by being cutting off the head. And one of them managed, when he was already partly cut off,
he escaped.
He managed to escape. And he could show us on how what they did.
There was a mark there on the neck, the big mark on the back of the neck.
Yeah.
Because they started cutting them from behind of the head. Very cruel, these people.
Yes, these are the memories for that. Thanks God, as whole, I'm very, very positive with meeting with people there and who are struggling and trying to survive, and the church is growing nonetheless. Yeah. And the people who are there now, the Mill Hill Missionaries, the local people, or one from Cameroon, or from Uganda, or India, they do wonderful work. So after I had my accident with my pickup and damaged my neck, I had to go home then afterwards. So I'm very relieved, I'm very happy. Things go on very well in that area. And I'm very happy to be connected all the time. We can phone the people there. So many people are in contact. So we encourage each other, and the work of God continues. Tumsi for Jesu Christus.
Tumsi for Millennium. So thank you very much again for watching. Just to round up, that in the end, just before Adolf was running off his mission, he had actually 2 accidents in a row. One, he was trying, he climbed up to change the bulb, and then he fell from up and broke his shoulder. And then he was taken to the hospital in Nairobi, where he got his stitched, and then he came back to Witu that week. In less than 2 weeks, there was another accident, because there was a seminarian who had come, and then we were going to Malindi, and then the car rolled over, And Adolf was still having a broken shoulder, and then this accident came and it broke now his neck. He was taken now home for proper treatment. And at that moment, people thought this is the last shot now for Adolf. He's not going to come back again. And I remember Andrea was sent to Brixton here to come and tell you to stay. And by the time he arrived, the stories were that Adolf was already in Kenya. Anyway, the people were very happy to welcome him back again, and he stayed on for a few years, and then he slowly retired. So Father Albert, who is still there now, always said Adolf has many, many guardian angels. You never follow him. If he's doing something, don't try to imitate that, because you would die. And he said, Adolf had, if Adolf was to die, he would have died 6 times already. But thanks God, he's still strong and he's still very active in service. Now, thank you very much for watching this. These are the challenges that we had, and this is what made us who we are today. The challenges, not really the good times, but the challenges. And in the next video, I'll just be sharing my own personal experience with Adolf. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.
Kiss us, mother, kiss your children. Bring God's blessings from above. With your mantle blue enfold us in your gentle holy love. See the darkness disappear.